Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Welcome. Let me know if you can hear me. Hi Jasmine, how art thou? La Sabrosina, hello. Oh no, that's not Sabrosina. That's La Borsina. What is Sabrosina? Is that the bakery, the Mexican bakery I go to? Sabrosina. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Hello, Tammy. How are you? Hi, Octavia Hall. Martita. Hello. AK. Hey. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Trying to see. Let me know if you hear me and if you're my fan, more importantly. So speaking of this, do you guys know who this is? Who this is? Whose image this is? Every time I order sushi, Wah is on. Well, great. Sushi is delicious. Nola Cohen, hello, welcome. Glad you made it. Hey, Tartar, how are you? Hello, Lisa. Hello, Lise. Hi, Living Queen. Pink Jeep Kiki, hello. Yazelle, hey. Ramsterdam, hello. Hello, Sienna. I mean, is it Sienna? I don't know. Summer of Dragonfly, hello. Hello, Lauren. Lauren, how do you just get your name like Lauren? Like Cher. It's just Lauren. Monique, hello. Bridget, hello. I like the name Bridget. I feel like it's rarely used. I also truly love the name Monique. Hello, Rashni. El Padilla, hello. Oh my God, there's so many people in the room right now saying hi. I'm having a hard time keeping up. Okay, I'm not going to put your thing on. I'm not going to put your comment on the screen anymore. I'm just going to say it. Ernestine, hey girl, hey. Hello, I've never met you. Hello. Sass Scales, hey. Have you guys gone and checked out Sass's channel? Sass Scales does recaps of 90 Day Fiancé, Love After Lockup. I think those are the two that I know of. And she has a Friday show that's called Friday Foolery, where she just talks about current events. Sass, shout yourself out. You know, if you want to put who you review, will you be doing the Family Chantel? I'm going to be doing the Family Chantel. I'll watch them tonight. But anyways, that's Sass, y'all. Show your girl some love. Check out her channel. Check out her recaps. Alrighty. We've got Kathy. Hello. Jen Cha. Hello. Lauren is lucky. Great. Christelle. Hello. Renee. Hi, Renee. Oh, Renee, you took down your glamour shot. It's like who is Renee without that picture of you being like, what is it? Oh, great. Yeah, check out Sass. Antoinette, hello. Gigi, hello. All my stuff. Hi. Lindsay, hello. Ol, hello. Landy, hi. Okay, I'm just gonna be real honest with you. I love the name Monique. I also enjoy the name. I have a list. I actually should just write it down. I like the name Barbara only because the nickname is Babs. Like Babs Bunny. Like Every Barbara that I have, like, since I found out that the nickname for Barbara is Barbie or Babs, any Barbara that I meet, I ask her if I can call her Babs because it's so cool. You know what name I also really enjoy is Beverly. To call her Bev. If I had twin girls, Barbara and Beverly, Babs and Bev, Babs and Bev, so cute, so cute. And then Monique as well is a name I really enjoy. I like the name Veronica, but I don't know that I would. I knew a Veronica, and she was a salty search. Salty search. She was a salty, not a salty person, but like, yeah. I do like the name. But anyways, I'm gonna name my child after me because there needs to be a Wahima who has a second chance at life. Oh, you call her Barbie? Okay, yeah. See, to me, that's cute. That's cute. But Babs is also super cute too. Oh, I 100% can. Bev? Bev is cute. Cameroon. Hello. Oh, we're at 100. That happened so quick. Oh my God, you guys. Let me get myself prepared. I was not prepared. We have enough moderators in the room. I want to thank those of you who are moderating: Jasmine, Lynn J, Mickey, Ramstram. Thank you for your service. But let's just go on ahead and get started. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of 90 Day Fiancé, Season 9, Episode 8, Get Off High Horse. This episode is brought to you by me, forging through, doing what I have to do. Also, my internet, as normal, is doing a weird thing. So, there's that. Alex says this Wahima is currently. I don't know what that means, but hello. Also, RuPaul's Drag Race is live in effect, and it makes me very happy, so I'm in a good mood. All right, let's jump right into our first couple. The first thing that's on my mind, honestly, are these two fools. Let's talk about Ari and Bini. Because Ari, Ari, me and Ari, my family say maybe she give me green card to sign for stay in America. So in this week's episode, they have found, after all of her research, they have found the perfect gym for Bini to go to so that he can practice his MMA, because he really want to be, oh my God. Sorry, side note. Yes, I absolutely will. Thank you so much for knowing what's happening in my life. I am so excited. The tickets, to stay a night, it was frankly too expensive. It really is. And the only reason why I'm paying that much for a motel is because it's one of my favorite drag queens. And when I say one of, I probably mean like RuPaul, Trixie, like in that order, and then everyone else. I watch Trixie's content on YouTube, and anywhere she puts it up, like, what are the girls talking about? Mama. Like, I love Trixie so much. I love Brian. I love Trixie. I love them both. Anyways, so talented. I love a guitar playing queen. I love it. Anyways, oh my God, I saw Trixie this weekend for Jersey Pride. It was fabulous. I am dead. I am dead. I am dead. Rebecca, I'm also dead. Thank you so much for me being in your life. Anyways, that'll be a whole separate thing. I'm going with my best Judy since kindergarten, and she's a part of the LGBTQ community, and she's also a Drag Race fan. And so we're just getting our lives. She turns 40 in a couple of weeks. I'm turning 40 in October, and I'm going to Trixie's motel for my 40th birthday. I'm living my life. No one can stop me. Can't stop me. Okay. Anyways, so she does all this research, Ari, and she finds a place for him to go and get trained. And so the first scene we have with them is her saying, maybe I don't know if we're gonna be able to do this every day because it's 45 minutes away, and I just don't know if I could drive you here every day. And the Californian in me was like 45 minutes. It's nothing. I drive 45 minutes all the time. Like most things are 30 to 45 minutes away. So 45 minutes to me is nothing. But maybe in New Jersey and, because I don't know, girl. I don't know. Anyways, so she gets him there and he meets with the gym owner who doesn't look like he has worked out a day in his life. And not to say that anything is wrong with that. I just find it interesting when the person that is training me doesn't look like they train. And not to say they couldn't do it. I'm just made an observation and I don't want to get dragged by the girls for it, but that is my observation from that scenario. And so Bini is like, so excited, oh, I'm so I'm ready. Oh, so this looks great place, I'd have good time training for my dream, make my dream MMA fighter. And I cannot help but be like, you need to go get a job stocking shelves. Like you don't have the luxury. You do not have the luxury of going with your dreams. I haven't said this because I wanted to be supportive of my Black Benny. And I wanted to love the fact that she was supporting him and his choice to be an MMA fighter, but it is just stupid. And he needs to go get a job. I mean, I know he can't right now. And so him practicing right now, as long as it's free, because it's not. I want to know how much that gym membership costs. I want to know how much it's costing them for Benny to live out his dream. If it were free, I'm like, sure, you can train. You can't work for 6 months anyway. So what are you going to do? Train. That's fine. But the fact that he's not bringing any money in, we don't know if he will be bringing money in when he finally is able to work, which I don't know. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he isn't a lazy bazy and that he'll actually go to work. But so he's really excited. He spars a little bit with the guy and then they go about their business, and Ari's happy because Benny is happy, but at the same time she's worried because, that's all she's able to do is worry because she's the one who understands what it takes to survive in America. So then we move on to their next scene, which I can't quite recall, but it is the fact that she is working part-time, doing like virtual work, and then like at the park when people are calling her, asking her, she's got deadlines, and she is just taking that baby to the park, trying to get good old Avi out the house. So, where's Mimi when you need her, Ari has to now just take care of herself and that baby. And she was doing neither of those things in Ethiopia. I mean, not by herself. She was doing those things, just not solo dolo. So might say, where's a Mimi when you need a Mimi, right? So she's on the phone being raggedy with her clients, talking about, I think I'm gonna get it to you, and I'm gonna do my best. I'm just at the park right now. I said, oh, did you tell these people you're at the park? You told these people you at the park with the kids? That's interesting. So then the next scene is her in the car. It's night, and she's going back to the gym to pick up Benny. And it's been a couple weeks, and she's now telling us that Benny practices 2 to 4 hours or like 3 to 4 hours. And so it's a lot for her to drive 45 minutes, drop him off, drive 45 minutes elsewhere, and then be gone for like 3 hours and then drive another 45 minutes or whatever it is in order to make. And I mean, at that point, it is a lot. It is a lot. So she rolls into the gym and Benny is there practicing, and he's like got his arms wrapped around this woman in a very decidedly non-sexual manner. Okay, they both have a bigger Black man hovering over them, giving them directions. But Ari walks in and believes immediately that there are boners happening. She feels like that seeing her man, and as she described it, her husband, future husband, wrapped up around a woman who probably could fight him toe to toe, And having a larger black man stand over them, give them direction is somehow worth her getting so upset over, to where she asks the producer to hold her baby. She said, hold my bags. She said, can you watch Avi for a second? You didn't think to tell me that you were working with a woman? And he's like, wait, Adi, what? You didn't think to tell me? You didn't think it was appropriate to tell me that you'd be, how do you think I feel walking in here seeing you rolling around on the ground with a woman? And I said to myself, Ari, this was the most non-sexual situation I think that I have ever seen. I mean, besides the fact that they were pressed up against each other and rolling around and sweaty, but I mean, it was just not sexual. And then she's going to go up to the girl as though she is going to do something to this girl. And this is where I am confusion, because I said that girl, Melissa, just needs to give you an inkling of her training, and you would be on the ground looking up, dazzled. And you're going to like move past Benny, who's trying to stop you, so that you can confront a trained fighter. And then ask this person, so what's your name? So what's your name? So what's your name? And I said, Ari, you're not about this life. Go on ahead and just try to fight Benny. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to fight this woman. It was just like woman on woman crime. I didn't like it. It wasn't a good look. Melissa has nothing to do with the fact that Benny didn't tell her, or I mean, here's the truth. She knew that women trained there. She just didn't know that Benny would be training with women, which is crazy to not assume. It's crazy to not assume. So basically the girl is like, my name is Melissa. What? Like, yeah. Do you always want to like, you think it's appropriate for him to be wrestling with you or whatever? And the girl's like, yeah, we're fighters and I'm fighting him, and we have a fight coming up and I'm a champion. And yes, I do think it's appropriate. Well, you think it's appropriate for him to not, hey guys, everyone in the gym gather around. Do you guys think it's appropriate for him to have not told me that he would be training with a woman? And everyone's like, yeah, we do. We don't find anything with fault with what he's done. And in fact, what you're doing right now, bringing all of this like negative energy, is like not our vibe, you know? It's not what we want here. We don't want it here. So if you want to go on ahead and leave, I mean, it felt like she was just like getting Benny. It was akin to her going to his workplace and just cutting up, you know, for no reason, causing drama for no reason. And then she's like, oh, so then why do you have eyelashes on if you're not trying to steal my man? And I thought, me and the rest of the internet, we all thought collectively at the same time at approximately 6:18 Pacific Standard Time, she's on TV, Ari. That's why she wore lashes today. I would not be surprised if she had on a little mascara, eyeliner, maybe not eyeliner because of the sweat, but if she had on like a cream blush and possibly like a light BB cream, I could 100% see a woman who's going to be on TV in a wildly popular show in the US and abroad, who is a trained fighter named Melissa. Now, if I ever see a Melissa with an M-E, you know what I'm saying? Like I will go, hey, is that the one who fought Benny? Of course this woman is gonna be wearing makeup. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? It's like that was her trying to prove some kind of point. And at first I thought maybe this was staged, but the way she said, hold my baby, can you watch Ari for me real quick? The way she said that sounded very natural. It's like she walked in, saw what was happening, like her brain exploded, and she had just enough wherewithal to pass her child on to a rational thinking adult, and then blacked out. And was so angry at the end that when he's trying to explain to her his side of it, she tells him, you're not even listening to me. You're just waiting for me to finish, which is exactly what she's doing to him, is not listening to him and just waiting for him to finish talking so that she can say, do you think it's appropriate? Where obviously, Ari, he does think it's appropriate, because if he didn't, he would have told you. I mean, the way she was like, oh, why are you wearing eyelashes? Mama, she wasn't like, she didn't even have as much makeup as I have on. Like those lashes weren't like a strip of lash. That person got them lashes done somewheres, and it was like 2 to 3 weeks in because there was fallout. They weren't a full strip of lashes. You know what I'm saying? It was sparchety sparsed. And it just is so annoying that this happened, and it was stupid, and it makes her look silly. And I guess they'll do it for because here I am talking about them. Also, Ari has been doing a low-key campaign on Instagram. I don't follow her, but I follow the Melanated Way, so 90 Day the Melanated Way. So if you don't follow her, you should. 90 Day the Melanated Way is who I follow, and so therefore anything that any cast member does, it gets put into my feed because of our 90 Day Fiancé sleuth, detective, journalist, Linda from 90 Day the Melanated Way. And so, but it feels like Ari's doing like a low-key campaign to kind of hee ha ha at all the people who call her a freeloader or a mooch of her parents. And she made a joke that was not funny because I had to like look at it a few more times to get that it was a joke. She's like, oh, I was going to do OnlyFans, but instead I've decided to have an estate sale. So I'm like, you were going to do OnlyFans, but instead you decided to have a yard sale or a garage sale, and then called it an estate sale. Does not one need an estate in order to have a sale by which you would refer to it as an estate sale? So I'm like, why don't you just put it on Poshmark? Like, she's like, come meet me at 25 blah 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 Princeton, and you're just like, are you just like having like a are you just like selling items out of the back of your truck? I don't understand. Just put it on Poshmark, girl. Like, it's not that serious. Ramsterdam or someone, there's a guy in here. Can anyone get it? Here, let me do it. Block user. Haha. Blockity black blick. Blickety block. Oh, it wouldn't let me block him. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, it's just like really, really Sophia. Hi, friend. How are you? What time is it? 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 there. How are you? How's the family? I'm glad to see that you're well. Thank you for all the email updates. All right, moving on. So it just was a lot. It was a lot, and she's trying to, I don't know. I'm just not interested in this couple, but I am at the same time. All right, let's move on. So the next couple that we are going to talk about, whew, girl, I saw a meme on the internet. I think it was like, I can't remember which one it was on Instagram though. It was like 90 Days something. And right now, Bilal and Emily volley back and forth in each episode on who is the bigger villain. And I keep wondering if Emily is just getting a bad edit. But at the same time, I don't think she is. Like, Kobe has only been at the farm for like a week. It's been a week of their time. Everyone else has moved forward weeks. Everyone else is like, well, Thais has been here for, 3 weeks now. Well, Miona has been in the US now for a few weeks. Like, no, we are getting a day by day. It's like their content and their shenanigans were so heavy in the beginning that they had so much fodder for these producers and these editors to create a storyline from his first week there. I mean, it feels like the first week. It just, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it definitely feels like the first week. And it is just insane how annoying she is being. So now in this part, he's gone outside to help the mother shovel manure. Now, I don't know if this was staged and she didn't like it. Like, maybe the producer said, hey, can we do a scene where we have Kobe outside helping with the horses or working on the farm, which is what the Americans love to do when they bring a foreigner to their farm. They want that foreigner to work. I'm pretty sure that Johnny would have worked on the ranch, and he talked about it if it was Ella and Johnny. Then we had what's her face, Brandon and Julia working on the farm. I can't, there's other people who had farms too. And they wanted to have that person out there working on the farm. Anyways, so Kobe goes out there to help out the mother and shovel manure, right? And so Kobe talks about the fact that his father owns poultry, does something with chickens. And he says that chickens smell, but nothing compares to the smell of horse dung. I disagree. Chickens smell like actual fecal matter. They smell like baby poop. You know, when like the baby has gone from just doing like formula and starts to eat solids, and then their poop changes irrevocably? Like all of a sudden, it's no longer just a little baby. Now it's like a smelly little monster just smelling. Anyways, so that is what poultry smell like to me. And he says that the manure is worse. And so when he said that, I said, "Oh, was your father rich? Did Kobe come from like a well-to-do family, or like to own like livestock, to be in poultry?" I just imagine like whatever is happening in Texas and like these places where people own like beasts of burden, or they own like large amounts of animals and then they sell the animal product for a price. So anyways, I tend to think there's a lot of money in that, and it makes me happy. He says that he misses his friends, he misses his family, he misses the way beer tastes. And then all of a sudden, all I want is to taste Cameroonian beer. And so what did I do? Google, where can I find Cameroonian beer in the US? Where can I find it? Is there like a large Cameroonian population in the US? And I just need to like, let's say Chicago. And what if I just like flew to Chicago and looked for like the Cameroonian spots? So anyways, I just really want to try it. He just says that, you know, he misses everything. And so he goes outside to try to help the mother, and he's shoveling. And Emily is just hovering. She's like, "No, babe, you should do it like this. No, babe. So why don't you just take more on the shovel, babe? What, I haven't done this in so long, but like, I just feel like I want to come out here and help you. Just, babe." And he's like, "No, I don't need you." From the edit, he told her 2 to 3 times to leave him alone. And then she didn't. She kept saying, "I'm just trying to help you so that we can go and hang out. Don't you want that?" And I'm like, no, he doesn't want that. He would rather shovel manure in peace than have you tittering over his shoulder with your dumb commentary about how he's not shoveling shit correctly. Leave that man alone. And then he does something that he shouldn't have done. He tells her to shut the fuck up. And like, here's the truth. Sometimes I think people hear Americans speak, and depending on where you hear these Americans speak, for example, if you hear someone in New York speak, you might think that the F word is less of a big deal than what it is. Or if you come from a family where everybody cusses and y'all just cuss at each other like that, you might be like, okay, it's not a big a deal. But to me, the F word is a pretty big thing. And if you and I are in a relationship, you're never going to tell me to shut the F up. Just know that you're never going to do that. And if you do, the consequences will be dire, because at that point, I believe that you don't respect me. Now, I don't care what environment you grew up in. Maybe you tell your own mama to shut the F up, but what you're not going to do is tell me. Here's the truth. It's not that Emily didn't deserve it, y'all. She absolutely did. But what he should not have done was told her that, and especially not in front of her mama. So at that point, I could not defend his actions. And when he got her in that kitchen, he needed to just say, "I'm sorry." But he really felt like he was justified. And the truth is he probably was. But it's the wording. He could have said, "Emily, please leave me alone. I don't want your help. Please go in the house and wait for me there." That's what he should have said. Because shut the F up. Them is just fighting words. And then the mother just sat back and she's like, my husband would have never spoken to me like that ever. I know my daughter could be like bossy and a little, overbearing, but like, I don't like that you said that to her. And I said, you know what? This is what Kobe has to take, because he did the thing he shouldn't have done. It's not that she didn't deserve it. She didn't deserve it to be said to her, and not deserve, that's the wrong word, but it was unnecessary for him to say it like that. And if I were the mother, I would have said, no, I'm so sorry, Kobe. Your language is inappropriate. I understand that my daughter is being very annoying. And Emily, if you could just go to the house, that would be super helpful because you're bothering him. But I mean, yeah, no. No. I don't know what to say. I don't know what he needed to have, June, I'm sorry. But I feel like he did over and over again. But I'm just saying he can't say shut the F up. Like, you can't say that. I mean, you know when it's okay to tell your partner to shut the F up is if you are doing something like trying to disarm a bomb and they're just tittering over your shoulder like, no, it's the red wire. It's the red wire. No, it's the red wire. And then you tell them to shut the fuck up. Then that makes sense to me. But anything else that they could possibly be doing besides disarming a bomb or doing something super important, that the fact that they're even talking or breathing next to you is going to cause a massive amount of distraction and ruin everything that you're doing. And that's not the situation that Emily and Kobe were in. I'm not siding with Emily. I'm not saying that her actions were correct. I'm saying his response was not. And especially in front of her mama child. So they keep talking like the Emily in China wasn't like this. The Emily in this in the Kobe in China wasn't like this. I don't know who this person is. And I'm like, yeah. And it's Emily's fault. She's bloody annoying. And she's got, like, high strung and got like major anxiety. And she also is low key a narcissist and thinks she knows everything. She's a know-it-all. So like, yes, it's annoying. You've unlocked another level in this person before you could get to know her when she was at the beginning level. You know what I'm saying? It's like you started the video game at level 1. And then you, for whatever reason, you found a cheat on the game. You went up, down, left, right, A, B, start, and it just propelled you to another level. So you bypassed an important emotional level to help you deal with the third level, but you didn't go to level 2. You just went to level 3. And now you're in level 3 looking around like, damn, I'm not even prepared for these monsters because I didn't fight the monsters in level 2. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, I'm getting so many bots in here today. They really don't know each other. You're right. And it's just unfortunate. Let me see if I can block this user. Oh, I was able to do it. Yay, I did it. I blocked it then. And I don't like the fact that Kobe keeps making things about American women versus men. He's I'm not going to say he's sexist, but he often says things in a sex manner. Like, it's not about her being a woman, it's about her being a person. And the mother brings that up. She's like, it's not that American women are like this. It's just that some people are like this. It's really important because that kind of verbiage breeds, to me, sexism. And it very well could be. He's not American, so it's harder for me to hold other people from other cultures accountable for the way we think in the US, which is the case with Mohamed and Yve, right? That's why they're having issues. And so I want to change that narrative, and I wish that would change for Kobe, that he wouldn't say like she's making me feel less than a man or stuff like that, because no one can take away or give your masculinity to you. And if someone has effect on how you behave with direct regards to your masculinity, if someone's like taking that away from you. And also, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you should know that I looked up the word emasculate, and it has nothing to do with gender. Emasculate has everything to do with the taking away of power. And it's so interesting that in the US, the way we use the word emasculate is very much about women taking strength or power, aka masculinity, away from men. Here is the definition. Or it's not the definition, but here is the thing that I was asking. I said, what is the female version of emasculating? Because I needed to better understand if there was a version of someone who could take away a woman's femininity and that caused such strife in her life that she can't maneuver because as someone has taken away my femininity, so I don't know how to be in the world, right? It's like there should be equal for those kinds of things. So it says the second sense of emasculate is to essentially weaken someone, to enfeeble them. This is not restricted to men, and so no feminine version is needed. Weakening a woman and weakening a man are the same thing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my point. So I'm going to be using the word emasculate correctly, and I'm going to refer to it as a man making a woman weak, and a woman making a man weak, and anyone who identifies as whatever making another person feel weak. So he then goes into the kitchen. He doesn't say a sorry immediately. Strike number 2. And then she's like, you think that behavior is okay? Hey, babe. The fact is that you're not apologizing. And he's like, I apologize for saying that, which was insincere from him. And then she's like, we're going to have to work on a lot of things. And I just want him to get a hotel. Dang, these people are just in my chat. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to block. I think I blocked somebody I wasn't supposed to block. I didn't mean to block that person. So anyways, there's that. I want Kobe to get out of a relationship with her because I don't think that Emily is in the place in her life where she's ready to allow another person in. She went very protective mama bear, and she's not making space for Kobe in a way that is flattering to her, and she's getting really bad at it. Yes, Ramsterdam, if you're a moderator, you can block. So I hope people aren't truly hating on her. Like I mean, I would never go to her Instagram page and say anything, but I haven't seen any posts from her via 90 Day the Melanated Way. All right, so next couple that we are going to talk about. Let me know if I missed anything, but there's that. All right, next couple that we are going to talk about is Bilal and Shaeeda. And wherein I have to side with Bilal. So in the morning, he's getting ready for Juma, and he tells her, "Hey, let's get going." And she's like, "Oh, I'm not going." And he's like, "Oh, that's a red flag in his mind. That's, oh, I have been single for so long, and now that I'm not single, I would like to be every week with a Juma with my wife or my intended." And like, it feels like she's not as strong as a Muslim as I thought she was, which is going to be a problem because that's part of the reason why I truly fell in love with her, was because her faith was so deep. That statement was weird to me because I feel like so many people like to judge the foreigner and say that they are in this relationship for the right reasons or the wrong reasons. And I think as a collective group, we have decided that the right reasons to move to the US and be with your partner is because you love them. And so for Bilal to say that the main reason, or one of the main reasons why he chose her as a wife, was because of her religion, her faith, or her, devotion, I thought to myself, is that one of the right reasons? Is it? I'm just asking, because it feels like if the foreigner should be madly in love with the American, and the American, in order for it to be the right reasons, should only want the foreigner because, like, what am I saying? So whenever any of the audience, I mean, whenever any of the Americans get on this thing and say, "Oh, the reason why I chose to date outside of America is because American people aren't for me." Like I can't, like if the men say I wasn't doing well with American women, or if the women say, you know, American men are poo poo, then we're mad at them because it's like, "Oh, you just don't like American people, you like foreigners, you're a sex tourist, and so you're not in this for the right reasons. You're only into this because this person was poor and you want to have power over them. So you brought them to the US so they could basically be your maid or your nanny. Or you only brought them to the US because they're young and hot and you're older and middle aged and you don't want to date a strong woman your age. You just want someone you can control. Or you are doing it for the wrong reasons because you only want someone who's religiously devout, and then therefore you can control that person through religion because you're going to use their devoutness against them." And so for me, for him to say that is one of those things where I'm like, oh no, on this show, if you bring somebody to the US, you must love them. Okay, you must be willing to go through the fire, through the, like, you must be willing to do that, or else this is for the wrong reasons. Am I wrong? I think I'm right. So that bothered me. But anyways, she then goes on a lecture. She gets a lecture from him because then he starts to talk slow and basically tell her how her not wanting to go to Juma is wrong. And she says, you know, in my country, women don't need to go. Men, they're the ones that need to go. But women, you know, if we have children or if we're on our periods and we're not feeling well, we don't need to go. You know, we're above that. And that is the first time that I have ever heard some woman from who's on a more conservative sect of a religion actually say that there are things that men need to do that women don't need to do. Because for the most part, whenever there's any kind of sin to be blocked out, or super conservative behavior that needs to be exhibited, it is usually put on the women. The women are the ones that need to cover themselves, because if they don't cover themselves, these men are going to go wild and rape them. The women are the ones that need to bow their head or walk in behind their men, because the men are the priesthood holders. The women are the ones who need to give up their careers, because the men are the ones that are supposed to provide. The women are the ones that are supposed to cover their head, because if they have their hair out, men will go crazy. So it's like, usually that's the case. And so this is the first time I've ever heard someone from a conservative religion say, no, women don't have to do that. It's the men. Yeah, the men need to go to church every Friday, because if they don't go to church every Friday, they're going to have evil thoughts creep into their brain. That's not what she said, but that's what I'm thinking. So it was really refreshing to kind of hear that, and to her to stand in her own, and she knew that there was a lecture coming, and she said, you're always lecturing me. And it's like, he did. It's like, he couldn't just take her word for it. He couldn't just say, oh, okay, you don't want to come. All right. That's unfortunate. That's sad. I really wanted you to go. But okay. No, he had to sit back and basically tell her why her decision was wrong and shouldn't happen again, because Juma is important, and he needs to, as the priesthood holder or as the leader of their household, he needs to coach her on all of her behaviors. And she's just like, but also at the end of the day, I'm also grown and the same age as you. And so I'm not this little girl who needs, you know, her husband to teach her the proper way to behave in the, you know, the proper way to be a Muslim woman or whatever. Then on top of that, he talks about her hijab, or her scarf. He says a scarf. I guess now I'm starting to realize, like, maybe there is a difference between a hijab and a scarf. I just assumed, but anyways, I don't know. So she takes off her pins and puts them in the cushion of the couch. And unfortunately, you guys, I'm a little bit more on his side. She's not wrong. It's not like she's going to deflate his couch or cause any harm to his couch. But I can only imagine that after pushing your pin in the like thing of a cushion, there's going to be holes at some point. And if you didn't buy that couch, and Bilal seems like the kind of fool with the way his house looks that he would have paid, you know, $2,000 for that couch. He seems like somebody who's like, oh, if it costs more, that means it's better quality. So Bilal seems like the kind of person who would spend too much money on a couch. and then spend too much money on a light colored couch when you have children, and then be mad at somebody when they put the pin in the cushions. And it's like, damn, this troll is just in here. Is it just all, I'm blocking them and they just keep coming in. And so he's upset about that, but I agree with him. If he spent a lot of money on that couch and he doesn't want there to eventually be a bunch of pinholes in his couch, then I would be like, yeah, find a place to put them. You know what she could get is one of those little round like disc things that seamstresses use. And I'm pretty sure if she got one or two that were white or black and put it next to wherever she normally puts pins, and that way her pins could just stick to that. You get what I'm saying? Not a pin cushion, not like the seamstresses keep it on their arm, but they have ones that they're just sitting out on the desk, and they are magnets. And so you would just put the pin on it, and it would sit there. And so that's what she should do, is just put them around the house, because I really don't think it's right to come into somebody's house and just decide that my eyelashes are coming off 100%. It's not right to go into somebody's house in which you paid for nothing and then, slowly damage the things. Another thing is that she prayed at home and she made wudu. She did her ablutions, and she fully did just have water all over the ground and then didn't clean it up. And I only imagine it's maybe the humidity in Trinidad or the heat in Trinidad would have dried it in a moment, but like, not if you're sitting in an air-conditioned home, girl. Like, you gotta dry that up. The counter too. Like, it's not like she was cooking, when you're cooking and like you splash water, you're just gonna consistently splash water. So at some point you might as well just leave the water there, or not clean it up every 5 seconds, because you're just gonna splash more water. But she fully was done and then didn't come back and clean up after herself. So I thought he was right to be annoyed by that. He's still, overbearing, and so like the things that he's actually right about, I think, get lost in a lot of his. I'm not saying that Bilal is right. I'm not saying, what I'm saying. I'm just saying in this moment, I see his point, and I don't think he's wrong. I have to take this off. Oh, bye. I'm not pretty anymore. So that was just my one observation, because I feel like she's messy, and he's like, I just need you to clean up after yourself. And the truth is that a stranger has moved into your home, and you're used to your house and your things being out and presented in a certain manner in the way that you like them. And you can have growing pains. I think the problem is that Bilal will never recognize that he needs to make more space for her. Me personally, I could never move in with someone. I would need us to move together. Like, if we're in a relationship and we've decided to take it to the next level, unfortunately, bruh, you're gonna have to move out of your apartment, or we're both gonna have to move out of our respective places and find a place to cohabitate in, so that it's not me moving into your space that you've already decided and designated things for. Like, I would be uncomfortable moving into someone's space. And so it would be easier for me and them. And when I say them, it would be easier to deal with me for them to deal with me if we just moved into our own place together. So there's that. Lori Joseph, do you think we are having sex? Do you think they are having sex? I don't think they are. I don't know how she could have sex with him. I mean, unless maybe she is, but I don't think she is. I also think that he would make her feel guilty if she tried to. Per Islam, women are not required to go to Juma. Bilal needs to stop the crap. He just wants to control her. I think that's true. Bilal is all worried about the water. That's why the first house had no faucet. Oh my God, dead. Good one, Tammy. Good one, Tammy. But why? She can't demand that if she's not financially contributing to that extent. Oh, no, you're right. I'm just saying how I would feel. I'm not saying that they need to do that right away. I'm just saying they are married religiously. Wah. Oh, she had her own room. That's why I didn't think they were. All right, so let's move on to Yve and Mohamed. Oh, something else annoying that Emily said was, do they do that in Africa? Y'all, Africa is a whole ass continent. That's like him being like, is that how they do things in North America? Is that how y'all be acting in North America? North America is like Mexico to Canada, y'all. You cannot say, is that how they do things in North America? So you can't say that's how they do things in Africa. I just don't like, it's just so stupid. Stop being stupid. Okay, now we're going to move on to a controversial couple, which is Yve and Mohamed, because y'all, these two did not speak before they got together, okay? They didn't talk about near nothing, okay? So she wants to help him find a community, so they go to the mosque. He then says in his confessional immediately that he's taking her there hoping that she's going to convert. And then he says that he has told Yve everything from the beginning, all the things that he expected of her, and that she was well aware. Yve says that she just wants him to find a community, basically, so that he'll get off her back and feel more comfortable. We find out that Muhammad's religion is really important to him because his father was a holy man of some sort. I don't know if he was imam or whatnot, but he was very religious. And his father died when he was 14 years old, which is, very sad and tragic. And he feels closer to his father when he's in church. So she wants to put behind the actions that happened the day before, and so that's why she goes to the mosque, so that she could kind of break bread and make peace with him. And he's hoping that she's going to discover how beautiful Islam is. And she's worried that he thinks, or he will want her to convert. And so for me, the weird thing is that I know of women, specifically Muslim women, who practice Islam differently. Some are more devout and conservative, and some are not. And I think that we're only getting one very specific view of what Islam is or can be without the other side. Because when I tell you that I know Muslim women who do not wear a hijab, now when they go to the church, they do. When they go to the mosque, they do. They'll wear something over their head. But I just think they're not giving it a fair go. There are other things that you might not agree with religion, but let's put it all out there. Let's not hang on one thing. And right now, with their season or with their segment, we're hanging on the fact that Yve feels that her rights as a woman are being impeded on. And from my understanding, choosing to wear a hijab in certain sects of Islam is a choice. Like, you can choose to wear it or not. It's a covenant between you and Allah that shows, that you want to do it. It's the same thing with, like, I think Orthodox Jewish people or certain levels of Judaism. There are some women who choose to dress more modestly. There are some women who choose to not, but they're still practicing Jewish people. You know what I'm saying? They're still practicing Jews. They're still living their lives. And I just think it's unfair that sometimes we get this very conservative version of Islam on our TV, and then we're outraged at the things that are happening. In a lot of parts of the Middle East, religion and non-religion are very much intertwined, whereas in the States, for the most part, it's separate, even though there are factions of Christianity which keep trying to push Christian agenda on the rest of us. But, like, it's still to a certain extent separate. And I just think it's I don't like the way we're getting his version of it. So I can't do something because it dishonors God. It's only restricting for women. What did I write that for? I know Muslim women who don't wear a hijab. To me, it's a choice. Yes. That's what I just said. I don't know what I was trying to say in that one. But anyways, I just find that sometimes when you show religions that are restrictive on women, and believe me, all of the major religions are restrictive to women. They really, really are. In practice and in theory, and or in practice and actual practical application, or on some like back end nonsense. Specifically in the Black church, like girls who wear nail polish fast. And that idea of being fast or being whatever is like you're a temptress, you're Jezebel, you're all these things, which are these negative things that women are because of just the fact that men want to have sex with us. So like, anyways, let me get off the soapbox. So he says to her, I was clear with you what I expected from the beginning. Then he says that she has to sacrifice for me because I won't marry somebody who won't prioritize my needs. Wow. And then I was trying to think about it. Oh, you guys, if you want to give a tip, you can do so down below. I realized I didn't shout that out. So you can do so. But then I think to myself, like, is what he's saying fair? He won't marry a woman who won't prioritize his needs. So then we need to be very specific about what his needs are, because to me, there is a difference between needs and wants. And if he needs a woman to be subservient to him, what does that say about him? Really, we need to be very, very specific when we talk about what your needs are. You need a woman who's going to dress conservatively. You need a woman who's going to convert to Islam. Then that needs to be said. And I don't know if it's been said. And I don't like it. He is a 25-year-old person who's trying to tell a grown-ass 40-something-year-old woman what to do. And it's not going to fly. So then she goes and has dinner with a friend, and Mohamed gets annoyed because he's like, Theron is not here, and she goes with her friends, possibly drinking, and I don't like it. Now, she's wrong for going out with her friend when Theron isn't there. Like, Mohamed has nobody, and it's kind of rude of her to go visit her friend at that time. Now, but I mean, she needs it and they probably need this scene. So she goes to the friend, and the friend, low key apologizes for being too aggressive with Mohamed. But that friend has either some kind of background in being abused or being used or some kind of trauma, or maybe Yve does. It wasn't clear to me at the time when I was watching it who had the trauma. But the friend started crying because she's like, I just see things like that and I think of them as red flags. And as somebody who's been through a controlling situation, I don't want to see Yve go through that. I don't want to see her back away from friends. I don't want to see her, behave or, feel trapped. And I'm like, Yve is the one with all the power in this. She's the one with all the power. She can send Mohamed packing and going home at any moment because she doesn't need him. She wants him there for that love and emotional support, which I don't fault her for wanting that. I feel like not everybody can just forge through their loneliness in a bold way the way I do. And I don't even forge through it. I just like push, do my best, but I'm lonely. And I 100% understand women who choose to not be lonely and put up with a lot of nonsense. It couldn't be me, but I understand why they do it, And so for her friends to just think that she's going to disappear off the face of this planet because Mohamed is so controlling, I think it's not giving her enough credit. All she needs to do is just send him home and start again. And if she's not doing that, that's not Mohamed's fault. That's hers. So at some point we have to stop blaming him and then just say that she needs to break up with him because he's not the person for her. Whew. That was a lot. What are you guys saying? He's not controlling, as he stated his non-negotiable, and that's fair. Oh, come on now. Come with a whole word, Mickey. Stop complaining to your friends. Grow up, girl. Only complain when you're sending them home. That is exactly true. That was the next thing I was going to say. You stole it right out of my mouth, Mickey. If you want your friends to treat your significant other with respect, don't tell your friend what your significant other is doing. Do not tell your friend, don't tell your family, don't tell your siblings, don't tell anybody. Now, that sounds like I'm trying to tell people to like just deal with abuse and deal with whatever. I'm not. What I'm saying is that you cannot expect your loved ones to hear you complain about someone and then not try to beat them up when they get the opportunity to, because that is going to be their natural response. If somebody that I love tells me that that they don't like the way someone is behaving and it's outside of the normal relationship back and forth, then I'm not going to tell them because it's outside of what we would consider acceptable. Now, if you're complaining to your best friend about him not putting his underwear in the hamper or not putting the toilet seat down or never washing dishes, that's separate. Those aren't things that are insurmountable. But core fundamental like wants and choices and necessities, don't tell them about your problems. Don't tell them that your husband is controlling. Don't tell them that your boyfriend is, I don't know, stealing money from you if you don't want them to react in a way that is protective of you, because they will. And then when you stay with that person, it's going to get awkward. And that's why Mohamed and her fought, because she told them their business and then they went back and told him that they knew his business. And that's not fair. I don't think Mohamed and Yve are bad people. Fundamentally, they have different priorities in life. I agree. I don't think they're bad either at all. I think you are correct. Which it is wrong for her to use him too. For companionship? Yes. Talinha, hello. Origato gozaimasu. I tell my kids not to complain to me about their partners because I won't forget it and I will take their side. Yeah. I tell my friends too. I learned that like in my 20s. I was like, yo, if you're going to complain to me about someone that you're not planning on breaking up with, just don't do it. And I had a friend tell me, well, I want to be able to talk to you about that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but like I won't be able to pretend like I didn't hear it, especially if it's some stuff. Like I had a friend tell me, like we were in our early 20s, that her boyfriend, or no, she had this guy that she was in love with, but they never really got into a relationship, but they were talking long distance for like years, like 4 years. And they met every once in a while and hooked up. And throughout this time, he expected her to be monogamous to him, even though they weren't officially together. But because they talked often, and this was somebody who he knew she was in love with him, when they had like sex later on, after she had like, was living her life, he had the audacity to tell her that she felt loose. And she told me that. And I was older than her, and I know that that's impossible. So I was like, if you haven't had kids, the vagina is a muscle. It's going to go back to its original shape. Like, you would have to leave something in there for an extended amount of time for it to just be looser, unless you've had kids or something like that, which you haven't. There's no amount of penises that could have been in you for, I don't even know how, whatever the time was, to where now he's like, oh, you feel loose. And it stuck with her, even though I told her he was wrong. And I could never forgive him for that. And that's what I told her. I was like, I can't ever meet this person because I'm going to tell him a piece of my mind, because now you were around here thinking that you're spoiled goods because some no name idiot had the audacity to tell you something, but it's someone who you love and respect. And so you took that information as truth. So, like, no, if I had ever seen Ricky, we would have fought on spot because he made my friend feel bad. And she was too, low self-esteem, and we're all socialized to want to be in relationships, to say no to that and to like rebuke that and see it for what it was, a manipulative tactic to make her feel guilty for not being monogamous to someone who she sees once a year. Mm-mm. Alex says, nah, because I'm picturing every single way I can beat the hell out of Was ex-friend's ex. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he told her that she felt looser. I mean, I was like, sis, that is not possible. You know how much you know how much dick you'd have to have, and like large? That's not possible. But like, it's this misinformation that I think happens to women a lot. Like, we don't get taught to love ourselves and to, whatever. I have a list of things, if I ever have a daughter, that I'm going to tell her that are like, listen, people are going to say this, but these are all lies. Okay. These are lies. And oh, I have so many things I'm going to say. Oh, anyways, let's move on to Pat and Thais. I just don't understand this because we're still arguing about John. And at this point, like, Thais just is going to have to go home for me. Like, she's just gonna have to go home. So they're having their first dinner date and they're in the Tesla, and it alludes that they have sex on the way there because the Tesla doesn't require the guy to have his hand on the wheel the whole time. It like can read the road and understand if you're going outside of the lines. And so he gives her macaroni and cheese, which slaps, and she loves it. And then he basically tells her, we're moving to Dallas soon, gonna sell the house, and John is coming with us. And she doesn't want John to go with them. And I again am confused because she comes from a society that has a lot of multi-generational households. And so it's not uncommon for brothers to live together, siblings to live together, grandparents to live with their kids. Like, it's not unfounded. So the fact that she's so intolerant of this is interesting to me. And I get it that John is just like a lush who's always probably loud and kind of drunk, but like, she's not moving into a bad situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, of all the 90-day situations that someone can move into, Thais ain't got it bad. She got a big house. She got a new puppy. She has a man who has all of his finances together and is not stingy with his money, nor talking to her about money every 5 minutes, because, oh boy, an American man loves to tell a foreign girl how he don't got no money and how she has to stop spending and how he can't pay for her to get lip fillers. I'm telling you right now, if old girl wanted to dye her hair platinum blonde and get it redone weekly, Patrick would pay for it. So she has walked into what I feel to be a damn good situation. You know how uncomfortable it is to date in the US, especially if you feel or know that the person you're going out on date with don't got no money. I mean, for me, it gives me anxiety. I have to know what a guy does for work. I have to feel secure that they're secure so that when we go out, I'm not worried about if I spend too much money, because he is paying if he asks me out. And so, like, I'm like, I hate it when they're always like, oh, where do you want to go eat? I'm like, you tell me. I don't know your budget. Because I'll pick a place that I can afford. And if you can't afford it, I don't know what to say. And I'm not talking about I could afford it if I ate there by myself. I'm talking about I could afford it and pay yours and tip. Like, so I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that she could just be with somebody who is financially comfortable is a godsend. And so for her to be complaining about his brother living there, which only saves them money, I just don't get it. It's not, I mean, I get it, but I just don't get it. Anyways, Patrick tries to tell her again that, him and John are just trying to rekindle their relationship. And right now is not a good time for John to be on his own. And he wants to be that support system for John. And he doesn't want to have to choose. And especially because he has a house that's big enough for the both of them. And especially with this new spot in Dallas that she doesn't like because she says is too small. Can we see the inside of her home in Brazil? And I hate to be this. I hate to do it because a lot of times I don't want to ever make the foreigner feel uncomfortable. I want to give them what they want so that they can feel comfortable in the U.S. But right now, Thais was doing a little much. Like, what your house look like in Brazil for you to say that this space is small? Have you been in New York City, sis? No, you haven't. But like, there are places that could be smaller. And like, I don't know. I see somebody put in here, she wants her own home. She's 25 years old. She's fine. If she were 35, I would be like, okay, she wants her own home. But 25, girl, no. You're still in that age where you could go sleep on people's couches and be fine. Oh my God. Yes, yes, yes. It's like her name was like Kai or something. Than or something. I can't remember her name. Wasn't she Vietnamese? Ooh, now that isn't a this where she moved into this man's house and he had a roommate and roaches? No. That's a completely separate situation. Exactly, Renee. Exactly. So that's why I'm saying I couldn't be on her side. I could not be on her side on this one. I see what she's talking about, but to me she's too young to be demanding these things. Tell me what your house looks like. I'm because the truth is that I'm not saying I hate to say like, oh, she should be grateful. I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm saying is that she got a good situation. She got a man who loves her, who learned her language, who brought her to the US, who flew back and forth to her country a bunch of times so that she could feel comfortable. And then he's brought her here and moved her into a big house, brought her a dog, is financially stable, then takes them and moves them to Dallas. And the only caveat is that his older brother is living with them because of their familial whatever. She has to just accept the fact that they're going through something and she has to be there for it. And she's like, "Are we going to live with John forever?" And like he says, "No, not forever." But I'm like, "Can you just do it for a year? Can you just be like, hey, I'm uncomfortable with John being with us for whatever reason. Can we stick? Can we say a year and then we got to have our own place, or something?" But like to demand that John not live there and be like, "Oh, this is our house. Why does he get the full top floor?" I'm like, y'all have the whole bottom floor to yourself. And then she gonna go upstairs and comment on John's furniture, which has no bearings on her part of the house. Girl, if you don't set your side of the house up the way you want it to be and live your life. Patrick says he has no patience with her on that house. I don't blame him. Yeah, the fact that she was complaining about how small the house was a little crazy to me. A little crazy. They didn't move into a studio. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like they're living with Patrick's mother. They're living with the brother. Like, I don't know. So she gonna have to figure that out because she's acting a little too young for me, for my tastes. Oh yeah, John has a blister on his lip, and I just said, "Woo, not a good look." Not a good look. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Her man is an ex addict. John leaving could seriously trigger Patrick. What do you mean he's an addict? Are you talking about the testosterones? I don't know. At 25, Nina, nah, you still got some room. Okay. I think that is it, right? We went through and talked about everybody. Oh, Jabri and Miona. What is there to say? There was a fight. The guy with the space cap tried to like go in and separate it. And if we're gonna talk about Miona blackfishing, can I talk about David's black scent? If David grew up in South Dakota, how does he speak like that? Can we talk about the fact that David kicked Jabri in his head that put him in a coma for 3 months? I mean, 3 weeks. Can we just talk about the fact that David, even though he says that forgives Miona, is still like gunning for her? Why can't Jabri text message his intended before he's about to go into like a 3 hour, 4 hour studio session telling her what's up? Oh, why do you have to text her? I said, David, if you want to have your fuckboy behavior, you have it, but do not ever tell a man who is showing his partner respect he shouldn't be doing that? Because I thought it was very sweet of him to be like, let me just tell Miona what's happening right now so that she understands if I don't talk to her, I don't respond, it's because my phone is on do not disturb. And he's like, oh, why do you have to do that? I'm sorry, sir, what? And you know me, I'm very quick to be like, people in relationships shouldn't have to do this. People in relationships shouldn't do that. You think that I would be on David's side, but I am not. David is extra. Now, David lecturing Jabri about getting in a truck and making some money so that he doesn't have to be living with his mama makes sense. But did we see how Miona, even though she wants money, stood up for her man in that moment and was like, you're making him uncomfortable, stop doing that? I had to give her points for that because David knows that he's making Jabri uncomfortable. And it is one thing for David to pressure Jabri in private, but in front of the entire world and a camera crew, for you to be lecturing him like you're his mother is inappropriate. If that's your homeboy, then you pull him off to the side and you say, bruh, you really need to get out here and make this money. You're losing out on money. I can help you with the trucking industry. I can do this for you. But you don't need to give him a full lecture and then turn in the same breath, give Miona a full lecture about how she pulled him away from the music. She didn't do anything because, again, she doesn't have magic powers. And I'm sick of people always trying to make it seem like women just be trapping men and doing all kinds of stuff. Men do what they do because they want to. I'm not walking around here a bruja. I ain't got no magical powers, okay? I didn't steal nobody. Did nobody stop coming to the studio because of me? That person stopped coming to the studio because they rearranged their priorities and the studio wasn't at the top anymore. I was. So there's that. Yeah, and then the Daft Punk person tried to get in between their fight. And here's the truth. Jabri, I don't know why he felt like he needed to knock his friend up inside the head that moment. Because look, I truly feel like I understand why David went at him because Jabri put his hands on him first. And I get it. Jabri was really frustrated because David was being ridiculous. And even Homegirl, the best rapper, Summer, was that her name? Even she was like, Miona doesn't have anybody in the US but Jabri. Like, of course Jabri needs to be there for her and support her and love on her and do all those things. So, like, what are we talking about here? This whole thing was problematic. And really, the truth is that I didn't want to judge David in his black scent the first time I heard it. But this whole episode, bruh. Jabri, you have to talk to your friends, to your white friends, Jabri. You have to talk to your white friends. You have to talk to them. Listen, as a black person who has white friends, I be talking to my white friends. So it's time for you to talk to your white friends. Okay? Foreigner or not, you are the person that is allowing this behavior to ensue. Oh my God. Blocked. Okay. It's embarrassing. Woo! Tony. It's embarrassing to be with a new producer and act like that. I just like these two don't have any. They don't have a like sometimes you run into people who do not have a sense of time and space, and anybody at any point can catch these hands, regardless of what situation they're in. And I think it's so interesting that there are people in this world who cannot control themselves. I think it's just so interesting. Absolutely not. Get out immediately. And then that like guy tried to just like slowly get in front of them and separate them with one hand. I said, boy, if you don't take that helmet off and separate these two, if you don't take that helmet off, okay, we get it. We got what you were trying to do. We get it. We got what you were trying to do. It worked. We saw it. But as soon as you saw these fools acting up in front of this producer y'all been trying to get in front of for years, take that helmet off and get in front of them, Blue Ranger. My ex-boyfriend, hard to know. My ex-boyfriend most recent is Serbian, was direct but not disrespectful. Ooh. Was he like Andre? Was he built like Andre? Andre will forever be my Andre and Libby will forever be my like example of what an Eastern European man should be for me to be attracted to them. Listen, he could be Polish, he could be Serbian, he could be from Moldova, but if he is fine and cut out of granite the way that Andre is, send him on my way. Send him on my way. Okay. Anything else happened? Making money realistic. You guys, that was stupid. So he decides he's gonna just give her the beach wedding because they went to Chicago, which is so stupid. And she's thinking about all the she's thinking about all the flowers and stuff she's gonna pick from the side of the road to use on her beach wedding. And well, I'll get a ticket to Moldova. I can't just go there like without a guide. I need a guide. People be staring at me. They're like, "Where's this African come from?" Miona isn't a good influence. She just co-signed Jabri's BS. He isn't making no money. To me, it's not about being a good influence. It's about just supporting. I don't think it's her job to be a good influence because like people are going to do what they want to do. I personally reject the idea that someone needs to be a good influence on someone else. And it's because childhood trauma of me, being told I need to be a good influence on my siblings, which is like has nothing to do with me. They did what they wanted to do anyway. And so I ended up being stressed out trying to be a good influence, but they ended up doing what they wanted to do. So what was the point of putting that pressure on me? One. Two, it's like you're taking away the autonomy from the other person. Like Jabri is going to BS with or without Miona. That is just a character flaw for him. Even David said that when he's into music, he's in it 100%. He's just probably just one of those people that it could be like a high functioning ADHD or something like that, where they like flip from thing to thing, but when they're on one thing, they're on it and in it. And then when they move on, it's just like it didn't never happen, and they move on to another thing and they're on it and in it. And maybe that's what happened with Miona. Maybe he was super lonely and she's the ideal person for him, and he just wanted to put everything into her, and she took it. And it's not her job to make sure that he doesn't lose track of himself and her. That's not her job. She can't do that, and it's unfair pressure to put it on her to curb his behavior. Now, if you could make suggestions and be like, this is what I think you should do, and that person still doesn't do that thing, then like, listen, you did what you had to do. Everyone, Mickey is wanting me to put this up here so that you guys could be aware. She's in Toronto, so hit her up if you're in the Toronto area. All right, guys, I think that's it. I was looking to see if I got any thingies, and I did not, but that's fine. Thank you so much. I would agree with you if she wasn't asking to pay for the beach wedding and moving to LA. At this point, you're participating in this BS. Okay, fair point. Fair point. Fair point. I take that. I take it. I take it. I take it. You got me, Sasha. Fair point. All right, you guys. Well, that is the end of this video. I want to thank you guys so much for sitting with me for an hour and 23 minutes. I totally appreciate it. Are you guys gonna watch Family Chantel? Also, I'm not truly thinking, because I'm at the point in my life. Oh my God. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. Beach wedding fund. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the Venmo or the Cash App, whatever it was. I just got it in text form, but thank you so much. I have a question. Okay, here's the truth. And I'm only talking about this. The recap is done. So if you guys want to exit the chat, you're more than welcome to. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up on your way out, please. How many likes do I have? There's 329 people in this room. How many likes we got? Someone tell me. Anyways, so while you guys are telling me that, I'm very much considering starting up Just Call Me Wah Patreon again. And I think that I will actually be able to commit to, because my work hours have changed, I think that I will be able to commit to putting up exclusive content on there, but I would need to know if A, people would be down for that, B, if the content, like what content you would want to see, because what I'm thinking of doing is 90-day diaries, and I'm also, which is tonight, and also the Family Chantel, which is tonight. And I might start it on YouTube, and then once I get the Patreon, just move everything up. So the first couple episodes will be on YouTube, but after that I'll move it over. Maybe last season of Love After Lockup, I'll talk about that. I'm also thinking of doing a podcast. So I'm trying to diversify how I get out my recap content so that I can make more money. I'm just going to be super frank with you. I've been doing this for a long time, and after the pandemic, the YouTube numbers aren't what they used to be. And if you guys were with me in 2018 and 2019, you'll see that the views are not what they used to be. And so kind of the only way to make up for that would be to do Patreon and do exclusive content on Patreon whilst also having a podcast, so that I can try to get out of the torture that is my 9 to 5 and provide more content and funnies and just be a happier individual all around. So there's that. You need to do more shows that are trending. You're right, Aaliyah, but the truth is that if I don't like the show, or if I'm just mad at everybody in it, then it's not going to be good. Do a poll, Wah. Good idea. It's just not going to be good. Yes, Patreon is another app. It's like a if you want to be a patron of somebody and you want to support them, then you would be that. And it would be like $5. That would have different tiers. A podcast would be a good look for you. I know, and I want to do it. The problem is that with podcasts, it's only audio. And so doing a podcast by yourself, unless you're reading a script, is not the best experience for the listener. You need to have somebody to volley off of. And Chris is not available. So it's about me figuring that out. And I don't know if I just like ask like Sass Scales, or I ask like Nikki Star TV, or I ask like Geo or other, people here on YouTube to like join me on certain weeks in order to get that volley. I don't know. So did you totally stop watching MAFs? I didn't totally stop watching it. I haven't watched this last season. I didn't watch it. I needed a break, and I'm willing to come back, especially if it's like Australia. I'm willing to do that. The problem is that the amount of energy spent watching and doing this without the backing of the people to watch it just doesn't make sense. Like, I like doing this, but sometimes it's just, to be very frank, it's hard with a work schedule. And like, I don't even have kids, and it's hard. So could you only imagine, like, if I do have kids, like, I don't I don't know how I'm going to do it unless there's some kind of financial gain for doing it. And my Married at First Sight just doesn't get the same amount of views. But I'm willing to try it in podcast form, because I think when people search for podcasts that talk about a certain thing, podcasts, like the companies, the platforms, if you're working with them, they will promote you and they will help get your name out of there. Everyone I knew at YouTube, every connect that I had with the YouTube game is kind of gone. And that's why I'm out of the algorithm. I'm out of the circle. So I need to get another platform and get into some kind of circle again, so that my content can get put out there to where it makes sense to do it. Oh, 100%. I'm doing this. 100%. Yes. Yes. So anyways, like, I will be doing that, and I will be doing this. Yes. Love After Lockup next season. Yes, I will be doing, like, that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to pick up Love After Lockup. I'm going to pick up 90-Day Diaries, Family Chantel, and Seeking Sister Wife. But that's 4 on top of 90-Day Fiancé. So like, it needs to be worth the time and energy put into watching and going live. You guys get what I'm saying? And it's not on YouTube. But I'll have to start it here so that I can bait people and then tell them hey, if you guys want to hear more, join me on Patreon. Like, it would need to be that. So that would be asking y'all to join me on Patreon if you wanted to see that content. But anyways, I just wanted to be open and honest about that, because I love having these conversations with you, and I love, this interaction. It's just Jasmine, you said it correctly. Time is money, and like I need it to be worth it. Well, none of these shows are trendy, so you are not going to get more views than 90 Days. Oh, I mean, 90 Days will always be my thing, but I enjoy the family Chantel. So I would watch it even if I wasn't going to review it. And that's what makes it easier. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes I have a hard time pushing through the regular episode of 90 Day Fiancé. Like, I paused it 3 times during Ari and Bini's segments. Like, it's just like the same thing with like when Thais is just complaining. I'm just like, girl, give me something. Give me sound bites. Give me something interesting. Give me something to go on. Like, you're not giving me anything. So Patreon is depending on the level. Like, you could do like $1 a month. You could do $5 a month. And when I say you, I mean me. So I could set it up to where it's $5 a month, a $5 a month tier, or a $10 a month tier. And so I don't know what the difference between the two would be. Like, maybe $5 is just everything that's audio, and then $10 is audio and video, or I don't know. I'd have to set all that up and see like what it is. I unfortunately can't do $1. I mean, I could do that, but I don't know what that looks like. I already downloaded Patreon because of you. Yeah, I support 3 people on Patreon. So Patreon is a reoccurring charge for me, just like a streaming service on one of my credit cards. So yeah, just wanted to let you guys know that might be happening. I would support you at $10 a month. Okay. Thanks, Jasmine. I support it. I thank you. I love that support. But I just wanted to tell you guys that that's what's going on. And obviously 90 Day Fiancé would still be on YouTube for free. Certain things would still be on YouTube for free. But to like take in all that content, I'd have to like get it all. I mean, to take in all those shows, I'd have to get all that content out. And I'm starting to better figure out a priority between my 9 to 5 and this, because I enjoy this so much more. And I enjoy y'all so much more. All right. Well, that was the end of that. Just putting the feeler out there so you know that I'm thinking of some other things to do. Oh my God. Yes. Are you part of the stage crew? Me too. How many of you guys are stage crew? Because it's so funny, because I'll be in a live on like I'll be in a Kev on Stage live, and I'll see hi wah, and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, we're all in here. But yeah, no, I really do love Kev on Stage's content. I have his app too, and I watch all the shows on the app. I'm on Patreon. I just support him mainly because one day I'm like, Kevin Fredericks might hire me for something, and I want to tell him that I have been supporting him since Cartoon Scandal. I want to be able to say that. And I do like the quality of his content, and I want to support people who are doing things, So, yep. Yay, stage crew. Yay. Yeah, I'm stage crew too. So, yep. All right, you guys, that is it. Don't forget to give a thumbs up on your way out. Thank you to my moderators. Today was an especially hard day because just got so many trolls. It's like YouTube is finally pushing me out there, but to the wrong people. And thank you all from all around the world who have joined me. Cameroon. I know Lise is from Norway. Did she say she was from Norway? Ramsterdam is in Amsterdam. And those of you guys who are in North Carolina, around the country, thank you so much. And y'all have a fantastic week. I might see you later on this week because 90 Day Diaries and, Family Chantel. But I don't know what day yet, so there's that. All right, you guys, have a fantastic week. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Jump in the line, rock your body on time. Okay, I believe you. Jump in the line, rock your body on time. That always gets in my head.